Guys, today I want to start a video of, I think y'all probably already know what this one about, but y'all probably don't. I want to start a video speaking about how people live certain, experiences of how you shouldn't get certain people to pray for you and how people see they seen certain spirits. And I'm going to put my opinion on it, and I'm going to put my take on stuff and my experience of certain things. And we're going to make a whole video speaking about it. First, I'm going to show you all the videos I want to show y'all. And then at the end of all the videos, I'm going to show y'all my opinion on it. And the first video we're going to start off with is number one. And that's Nia Long. So let's get into it right now.
My family's from Trinidad, and so in general, island people are, they believe in spirits, they believe in supernatural events. Whether it was a conscious thing or subconscious thing, the paranormal world has sort of been present in my life. My papa, his name's Clyde Gilman. About 9 years ago, he passed away. But I have to just say it, I was his favorite. I'm the youngest in the family, and he was sort of my dad growing up because my mom's a single mother. We lived in Los Angeles, and my grandparents lived back in Brooklyn. And every summer, my mother would go and work in New York, and so I would spend most of the day with my grandfather and my grandmother, and he was full of life and my most favorite person on the planet. And so when he began to get ill, I was shooting a movie at the time called Boiler Room. And ironically, my character lived in Brooklyn, and she had a sick mother that she was tending to in the film. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go, rather than stay in some fancy apartment in Manhattan, I'm gonna go to Brooklyn and I'm gonna stay in the home where I grew up. I'm shooting this movie, I'm taking care of my grandfather. By the day, his health is deteriorating, and he got a staph infection and he had to go to the hospital. Everything just started to fall apart. I kind of knew someplace in my spirit that this was probably going to be the last time that we had, a significant amount of one-on-one time together. And as people start to get older, they start to sort of rebel against the natural process of life and death. And I said, Papa, you've got to pray. You've got to ask God to protect you. And then he says, I don't believe in religion. It was very difficult for me because I wanted to make sure all I cared about was that he went to heaven. I knew it was inevitable that he was leaving the planet. I was like, God, he's such a good man. I know he's stubborn sometimes, but let him make this transition gracefully. And I'll never, ever forget this moment. He was laying in his hospital bed, and I knew it was time to say goodbye. And I walked to the door, and I turned around and I looked at him and I said, I love you, Papa. And he said, I love you too. And I'm gonna cry. So anyway, I left, and I ended up coming back to California. And I was with my fiance, and the phone rings, and my grandmother said, your grandfather just passed away. The inevitable had finally happened, and not only was it just, oh my God, I'm losing the man that was the most important man in my life. My biggest concern was, is he really gonna make it to heaven?
You see, you just heard what Nia Long said about her experience, and I honestly think it was crazy to me that how the way she broke it down, and how it's not this people like this shows that everybody got some type of special thing about them. They can sense certain things, and people, like might call like demonize it, or it can go too far, and people could let evil thing enter them. But that was her family member. You know what I'm saying? And like, yeah, in this next clip, what I'm about to show y'all, this get prepared for this. Tell y'all be careful. Don't have everybody praying for y'all. So let me show y'all what this person got to say. And I'm gonna put my take on all this basically. What I say basically stuff I know about that's actually true.
Y'all better be very careful of who you want praying for you, okay? See, a lot of times when you go through things and you are just going through so much in your life and you need people to pray for you, 9 times out of 10, these same people are putting spells on you. They are putting curses on you, okay? They are not praying for you. They're actually praying to make your situation worse. They are praying on your downfall. When you ask these people to pray for you, you have all these different souls praying for you. And you never know a person's true intentions. Asking people to pray for you, you have to be very careful because you never know a person's true motive, intentions, agendas. You might be telling that person like, hey, I'm going through something. My marriage ain't right. My kids ain't acting right. You might be telling these people all your problems and you want these people to pray for you. But 9 times out of 10, your situation is going to become worse. You ever had somebody pray for you and you thinking that they are genuine, but then it's like your situation becomes worse and worse and worse? It might even have you question God. And I'm going to just say this. Whenever you're going through something, you're better off just praying to yourself because you know what your intentions are. Y'all better be careful.
This next clip about this little girl that basically said she knew this man somewhere like in some like year, but they said she was never to be born in this day, but she felt like she knew him before. She was mad about people talking about this. Is a long clip, so get ready to watch it.
Back in the 1900s through the 1930s, but Amy really felt sorry for Jack.
From what I've heard about Jack Pickford, I don't think I would want him associating with one of my daughters.
He's been portrayed as a wife abuser, an alcoholic. Supposedly he died of syphilis. But Amy carried pictures of Jack Pickford all the time. I found it really strange that Amy was so enamored with Jack Pickford. He's not the kind of man, from what I heard, that you would want your daughter associating with. Amy would get so upset when she would read something or somebody would say something, somebody's blog or something on the computer, and she would go, "That's just not right." She goes, "I'm so mad. How could they say that about Jack? They don't even know him." It was extremely bizarre to have a 10-year-old defending a man who has such a reputation. At first I thought Amy's fascination with Jack Pickford was just a phase, but then I discovered that it was much bigger than that. One day when Amy was about 12 years old, she showed me a picture. I looked at the picture and I had no idea who it was. There was just something about her that was so sad, so tragic. It was a picture of Lucille Rickson. She went on to tell me Lucille's story, and it was just so heartbreaking. She said, "Mom, I think I was Lucille Rickson in my last life."
I had never heard of the lady before. I was shocked because I thought she's only 12, 13 years old. But looking back, she had been doing this for the last 8, 9 years.
And then she said, "Mom, she died when she was 14. When she came to me with the photograph of Lucille, it was like somebody socked me in the gut because she truly believed what she was saying. I was surprised the knowledge that she had. This wasn't a famous movie star to me. I just spent hours researching Lucille. Unfortunately, Lucille had a very tragic life. Her mother, Ingeborg, was the ultimate stage mother. Lucille made her first movie when she was only 5 years old. And she was very beautiful, and the studio really took advantage of her. And if you didn't go along with what the studio said, you just didn't work. Well, they even called her the youngest leading lady in Hollywood. She worked long hours. I mean, she even had roles where she played the wife. Lucille just grew up way too fast. She became ill. She was bedridden. There were a lot of rumors, but her mother had a heart attack. She collapsed and died right on top of Lucille. And then 2 weeks later, Lucille was dead. Lucille's last words were, "Mother is waiting." I think that Amy is speaking up for a child star that never had her own voice. Amy didn't have her own voice for a while, and now she does through Lucille. It just breaks my heart.
That made me start thinking a little bit more. There would be things that she would say that weren't on the movies. Okay, maybe she's really onto something here.
When Amy saw the picture of Lucille, it triggered emotions and then memories of her past life. It turns out that Lucille Rickson and Jack Pickford had worked together in several movies. And she knew all this without even researching it.
My name is Amy, and I'm 17 years old. I never understood why I was drawn to silent movies. No one else was interested in that. It made me feel a bit odd that something wasn't right. When I first saw a picture of Lucille, there was only about 2 known pictures of her on the internet. And when I saw it, I basically just stopped breathing. I knew that there was so much there. It all clicked about my obsession with dying young, obsession with child stars, and then when I saw she was